Good evening, guys. How are you doing? So, my name is Vikas Marwah. I come from Delhi. So, the theme of today talk, as far as I'm concerned, is from streets to strategy to the summit. Who am I? You see a title there. That's my professional title, and it has come to be my signature today on the social media and everywhere where I go. But that's not how the boy from Delhi began. Even on my LinkedIn profile today, I call myself a mobility strategist. Within the industry, the people who love me a lot, they call me the accidental CEO. But let's talk about how did we reach here. So the lesson started way back 67 when I was born. The Vespa lesson, as we call it. There used to be a couple of scooters that time, Vespa, Lambretta. I'm sure that your parents would have taken you out on ride on that. And I grew up in Delhi University. Before that, at a school in West Delhi. Confused in life, a little disoriented, not knowing what to do, where to go. But of course, my dad was generous enough to hand me over the same Vespa. I still remember the number, DHM 6221. I don't remember the number of the various numerous cars and everything and bikes that I have changed since then. But yeah, that's how it goes, the grounding lessons. So the Vespa lesson was direction over speed. Anyway, at that time, the scooters were not running fast enough. They were not like the super bikes today. And my dad told me very early in life it's more about direction rather than speed. There used to be only two speed controls on that Vespa at that time, right? Aage bad, ए bhai संभल के. These were the only two directional controls that were there. A horn that honked now on and off or whatnot. So average man trying to find my right direction, average grades, extremely average grades. Today, when I don't think I need to make a career anymore, going out looking for more jobs and everything, I think I can very happily share with you. He is a second divisioner, consistent through school, through college, never made it to first division, right? But life took me somewhere where I'm extremely proud of the journey where I've reached. So the streets were where I did my MBA. No Harvard, no Stanford, nothing. Average MBA college somewhere in the dusty bowels of Uttar Pradesh, 60 kilometers from Delhi, an industrial town called Modi Nagar. I was not good enough to get into the Ivy League colleges of India at that time. FMS had just started in Delhi. IMT at Ghaziabad was beginning to start, and then there was a third best option available for me. So I ended up in Modi Nagar. And after my graduation in commerce honors, that is where I did my MBA from in 1990. I don't know how many of you are from Delhi, but Delhi में एक 12.5 रुपए का DDC का पास होता था. अभी पता नहीं कितने का है. But that 12 rupee 50 paisa pass took you to innumerable destinations across the town, across the city. And that is where the mobility lessons actually kicked in, chasing the buses and running after them. Of course, as I grew up in life and coming out to the first jobs and everything, the trucking community and the transport nagars and everything are something which really taught me my life lessons. I started my career in the cement industry, and there used to be the black marketing of cement at that point of time. We used to allocate and we used to ration the cement to stop that black marketing effect. So here I was on the cement sidings trying to sell the cement to the dealers at the right price, at the government controlled pricing. And then, of course, my very, I would say, cherishable journey with the tire industry started, where I spent almost like 13 years. And JTEKT Tire was the ground where you see those exclusive car radial counters that I went around building. So the streets are, of course, the right learning platform. It is not the boardroom nor the office. Yes, you will reach there at some point of time. But before that, the lessons in the street are extremely important. Moving on, you see the Ubers today, you see the Olas. My lessons came from the radio taxi business. I must say, I'm quite proud to say this. We came much before the Ubers and the Olas. I was a part of the radio taxi revolution in India at that time. For whatever reasons, the government support or the lack of it, or the public realization how to really recognize radio taxis. Right. So Easy Cabs was my brand in Delhi. You had Meru in Mumbai. Then we also reached Mumbai at some point of time. And that is where the real taxi lesson started. Of course, I was also representing world's #1 car rental brand Hertz in India. We were the master franchise for Hertz in India. And this is somewhere like the mobility lessons. But trust me, even though I was the chief operating officer of that company at that time, I think I considered myself to be the chief operating officer of the most missing car business in the country. Drivers not reporting on time, a car gone missing somewhere, a customer calling the call center somewhere else, a GPS that refused to function. You would type in a location called Bhayandar and you will reach, I don't know, Karjat or somewhere. And those were at that time the technology challenge that we were facing in those years. But yes, cement, tires, mobility, this is what really shaped me. Then I think as God gives you various lessons during life, while I was going up, I was really climbing the ladder at that point of time and reaching the CXO positions before I had hit 40. That is when struck down by 2 illnesses back to back. I don't know how many of you are aware, but for 6 years I battled lupus. It's a 1 in a million disorder as far as India is concerned. It's an autoimmune disorder, potentially capable of taking your life away. Fortunately for me, went into remission, fought it. Just when I thought I had recovered, spent a good 3 years of a window period healthily. 2009, I went comatose. 23 days, slept on the ventilator like a baby. I did not wake up for those 23 days. And something was sticking inside. The body refused to give up. And a ventilator is a very dreadful feeling even today. When you hear that dreaded word called ventilator, the first thing that comes to your mind is, will he or she make it or not make it? God was kind, and Ganpati Bappa, his little idol, was watching over me at the hospital. When I woke up, delirious, coughing blood, barely able to open my eyes, the first thing I saw was his image. And I knew that the Almighty was there to save me. Came back to work. Within 2 weeks of coming out of the hospital, not a good idea. I was, as I mentioned, I was delirious, not able to focus. Almost lost my job, and before my employers told me, "Badi bahut ho gaya," right? Can you really fight this? Can you really take this on ahead? I thought, let me go back to my core. And where did my core lie? The bounce back was then planned in a classic management way, right? You also have a management courses running here. It says you have to do a big transformation. For that, you need a big blueprint. You need to follow that blueprint really well. अपनी लाइफ की आगे के मुकाम, अपने आगे के गोल्स लिखने बहुत जरूरी होते हैं, ऐसा मुझे लगा, right? You are free to follow that advice or not, but really worked for me. So I said, okay, fine. I've been a salesperson most of my life. What do I do next? I need to hit the corner office. The corner office, of course, is the CEO office. This is where you stop climbing after that. And this is the height of aspiration where one reaches in any chosen field. Pahunche kaise? I was not a technocrat. I was not an engineer. I was not an outstanding finance guy. Sales led me to the next thing, which was strategy. I said, okay, fine. I've had my life lessons. Let's focus on the strategy bit of it. Where can you take your next organizations? And then you can become an enterprise leader. So the industry that built me were cement was giving me foundation very early in my life. Tires were giving me traction. Radio taxi and the car rental trade were giving me mobility experience. And the auto components, which then became my core later on, even till today. This is where my technology play happens. So I reinvented myself as a mobility man. The world said, what a confused buffet of CVs you have got. And I was like really proud, like trying to juggle between 10, 11, 12 CVs at one point of time. जिसको जैसे सूट करता था उसको वैसा CV थमा देता था. And that was courtesy the experience which I had gained across the various sectors. Now guys, this is a risky game, right? I am definitely not advocating go ahead and play this kind of a game. But then by that time, I was literally beyond care and I was on my own song. Luckily, I was hitting all the bullseye at all point of time, so it persisted. So I found the career playbook. In the strategy part of it, what is strategy all about? When you come into any part of the corporate strategy, It is about making joint ventures, mergers, acquisition, turnaround, startup stories, everything. And these are forged in fire and these are collaborative learnings. A joint venture, when it is made, you have to remember that the joint is stronger than the venture that is getting made. And this became the core of my push in my current company, which has really taken me to the pinnacle. So there have been a lot of M&As, a lot of MNC activities, the turnarounds that have happened for the businesses and everything, and overall it's been an exhilarating learning. What I represent today is the Lumax brand, and any one of you who is connected to the automotive sector or even wants to do a preliminary research, we are doing reasonably well today. But it has not happened by default. It has happened by design. And I have some humble role to play there. Of course, it's a huge team which I have got. So 2018, I joined the company as the Chief Strategy Officer. 2020, COVID happened. By that time, I had made a blueprint of how I intended to transform the organization. And the board said, lockdown hai, become the CEO, now implement the blueprint that you have made. So here's a guy who has never run a factory in life, who doesn't understand machines. He is the guy who is now entrusted with the charge of turning around the organization and taking it to the next level. It was a $120 million business at that point of time, translated into INR, about 850-900 crores at that point of time. And the target given was, इसको 900 crores को किसी तरह से double कर दो अगले 5 साल के अंदर. COVID hit the world, definitive years and huge learnings there. Of course, very tragic also, both on personal and professional front, but we kept on going on. And today, as we stand, we are going to be approaching a $1 billion USD mark in the next couple of years. We have overshot our targets like many times over. And I think the mobility impetus, which not only the government, but the people and the faith that has given, it has stood us well. 58 is the age when we normally retire, or 60 or 62, depending on various things. I turned 58 like 2 months back. I thought, bahut ho gaya. This was something which was 6 months back. I was thinking, I'll retire to my farm at Karjat. And although I'm a Delhi guy, but yeah, Karjat is where my heart lies. And I said, okay, fine. There is dogs. There's this nature. There are a whole lot of other things. So I'll do a between Delhi to Karjat. And anyway, Mr. Gadkari has now made a beautiful highway. And I will now take all those long drives that I wanted to do. But the fate had other plans. And while this was all a fantasy, the board extended the tenure for 5 more years. And they said, dude, this is interval. Picture abhi baki hai. Just got awarded the Hall of Fame 2025 award from a very respectable media publication in our industry, which is manufacturing today. I was ET Business Leader 2023. And by that time, the entire euphoria of turning 58 in my mind and that fantasy had died down, I suddenly realized that I'm pretty useless with anything else. कोई skill ही नहीं है, करूँगा क्या? कितना relax कर लूँगा? क्या करूँगा? Nature walks कितनी करूँगा? What is the purpose that I'm leading to? And guys, this is not the India of 5, 10, 15, 20 years back. 58, 60, 70 in India is also just a number. It's just a number. And I realized it. Happy to sign up to it. Family egged me on. My wife, an ex-academician and now a full-time yoga teacher. My son, an Ivy League trained lawyer. He studied at Columbia University in New York. Working in India with one of India's top law firms. And then there is me, the confused me, who has spent so much time in life and at airports that whenever I check into a hotel, also I'm trying to find a seat belt. So here's the guy who was thinking of actually retiring. But as it happened, I stand in front of you again. There's an important thing that I would like to touch upon. When we come into colleges, we start our career, we put the ignition on into our aspirations and everything. We think कि CEO बनेंगे, CFO बनेंगे, Chief Technology Officer बनेंगे. One of the things at the back of the mind, whether we admit it or not, is there's a lot of wealth that is lying somewhere that we would like to make. No, I'm not saying that it's not there. It exists. But that cannot be the basis on which we pursue that goal. The wealth factor for CEO position is the result. It's the consequence of whatever happens before that. You have to take some tough career choices. You have to pick up the challenges. You have to pick up the growth-oriented focus over anything else. If we chase money right in the beginning of the career or even in the middle of the career somewhere, I think it deflects us a lot. So you have to choose content over money at that particular point of time. What really reinforces your profile? Fortunately, having worked with a lot of Japanese companies and joint ventures, there's a heavy Japanese influence as far as my own personality goes. I focus on frugality, discipline. Yes, money is important, but it's not everything. And I think it has managed to keep me grounded. It has shaped me and it has only strengthened me. So, lastly, my legacy and my last decade ahead, whatever I have done or still to be done, I would like to consider myself to be contributing to be the voice of the auto component industry in India. Just to give you an example, the manufacturing sector probably contributes the highest GDP to the country. Within the manufacturing sector, the automotive sector is again amongst the highest grossing contributors to the GDP of the country. We are on a roll. We are on a roll as far as automotive sector is concerned. Even though auto component is a product of derived demand, I seriously urge you, whenever you guys are looking for a career in any kind of a manufacturing space, think automotive, think mobility. It's an exciting place to be. So my dream is to create new markets, new products, new businesses, and help India become a mobility powerhouse. You think about EV, you think about ADAS, you think about autonomous vehicles and everything. Everybody has got a touch and feel thing as far as the automotives are concerned amongst them or amongst with their family. So the next decade definitely is to build, to transform, and to serve. And lastly, from streets to strategy to summit is the story of just of perseverance and resilience. It's not of brilliance. It's not of brilliance. You have to just keep your clawing your way up. You will end up there. So, fought, built a life on my own terms, painted my own canvas. You have a color book and a whole repertoire of colors in your hand. Go paint yours. Don't get afraid. If there is something you seriously believe in, follow it and pursue that dream. So it's been my journey, my movie. I think I still want to make it a blockbuster. And I'm happy to advise you, mentor you, and speak with you. I'm very easy to reach at. So you can find me very easy on LinkedIn. That is where I exist as far as my social media profile is concerned. All right, Dad. Thank you so much, and you've been a lovely audience. Thank you.